Hi everyone, I'm Wendy Gundry with Remax of Santa Clarita. Over the past year alone, I've helped several sell homes that have been in their family for decades. These weren't just houses, they were childhood homes filled with memories, holidays, birthdays, and a lifetime of possessions. One thing I've noticed is that almost every family has the same question: where do we even begin? Today, I want to walk you through what happens when you inherit a home, especially if it's held in a trust, and some of the biggest mistakes families can avoid. Now, before we start, I want to mention that I'm not an attorney or CPA. Every situation is different, and you'll want legal and tax advice for your specific circumstances. But I can explain what I typically see as the real estate professional helping families through this process. First, let's talk about trusts. Many people have heard the word trust, but aren't exactly sure what it means. A living trust is simply a legal way for someone to hold ownership of their assets while they are alive and then pass them to beneficiaries without going through probate. For many California homeowners, that's a huge advantage. If the home is properly titled in a trust, the process of transferring ownership is usually much smoother than going through probate. That doesn't necessarily mean the home can be sold immediately, but it often makes the process much easier. One of the first questions I ask families is, who is the successor trustee? That's the person responsible for carrying out the instructions in the trust. They are the ones who will typically work with the attorney, gather documents, and eventually coordinate the sale of the home. Many people think every family member has to do everything together. That's usually not the case. The trustee has responsibilities, but they still need to communicate with the beneficiaries throughout the process. Now let's talk about something that's often much harder than the paperwork: cleaning out the home. Imagine living somewhere for 40 or 50 years. Every closet, every cabinet, every garage shelf, every photo album. It's amazing how much a lifetime can accumulate. I always tell families not to underestimate how emotional this part can be. You'll find old report cards, handwritten recipes, Christmas ornaments, military medals, letters, things you completely forgot existed. Sometimes families need several weekends just to begin sorting through everything. Give yourselves grace. There is no reason to rush through those memories. Once the family has decided to sell, that's where I usually come in. Many people think the first step is putting the home on the market. Actually, the first step is developing a plan. We'll walk through the property together, talk about repairs, discuss what improvements actually make financial sense and which ones don't. Sometimes a simple cleaning, fresh paint, landscaping, and decluttering can dramatically improve the home's value. Other times, it makes more sense to sell the property exactly as it sits. Every home is different. One of the biggest concerns families have is, should we remodel before selling? The answer is maybe. Don't spend tens of thousands of dollars before talking with a realtor. Some improvements simply don't return the investment. I'd much rather help families spend $5,000 wisely than $25,000 unnecessarily. Pricing is another important conversation. Many families have an emotional attachment to the home. That's understandable. But buyers don't purchase memories. They purchase today's market value. That's why it's so important to look at comparable sales and current market conditions instead of what the home meant to your family. Another thing people don't realize is there can be tax implications when inheriting property. Questions about capital gains, stepped up basis, property taxes. These are conversations that should involve your CPA or tax professional before making decisions. A little planning can save families a significant amount of money. One thing I always encourage families to do: don't try to figure everything out by yourselves. As realtors, we work with estate attorneys, escrow officers, title companies, professional organizers, donation companies, junk removal services, estate sale companies, and contractors. You don't have to know every answer. You just need someone who knows who to call. Selling a childhood home is rarely just another real estate transaction. It's often one of the biggest emotional transitions a family will ever experience. I've had families laugh together while remembering old stories. I've also had families cry while packing boxes. Both are perfectly normal. My job isn't just to help sell the house, it's to help make the process as smooth and stress free as possible during an already emotional time. If your family is beginning this journey, or if your parents have asked you to help them prepare for the future, I'd be happy to answer your questions. You don't have to know everything before reaching out. Sometimes a simple conversation can help you understand the next steps and avoid costly mistakes. If you found this video helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you'd like the video, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment below. I'd love to hear whether you've ever helped a family member through selling a childhood home, or if you have questions about trusts, probate, or inherited property. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.